it to depict just about any park in the world that we would like by using stock footage that has previously been filmed that would not be practical to reshoot every time we need it. So like, let's say that a script calls for filming in Central Park. Well, we'll take a nice aerial shot of Central Park where you can see the Manhattan skyline, and then you cut to here on our back lot for the medium shots and the close-ups of the actors, and really your imagination fills in the blanks and you believe that you are right there in Manhattan. Immediately behind it is our Black Lagoon, originally created for the creature from the Black Lagoon. It is also where Norman Bates dumped the bodies at the end of Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho. And okay guys, unfortunately that flash flood has hit this part of the lot as well. Okay, there's really only one thing we can do about this. We're gonna yell "Park the Waters" on the count of 3, and guys, this is your chance to just scream and get it all out at the top of your lungs. Okay guys, no one is judging you. On the count of 3, "Park the Waters." Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Park the Waters!
Oh, that was awesome. I don't know if you guys have heard of the It Factor, but you definitely have it. I have to be honest with you. Now for those of you in cars 2, 3, and 4, you actually will be able to see the waters parting behind here on the monitors. Now we are going to be going below sea level, so please do remember to remain seated and keep your arms and legs inside the vehicle at all times. And also, if you have any personal items on the floor of the tram, you will want to pick them up so they don't get wet. As we cross through the Black Lagoon here, look to your left-hand side and you will see an example of a miniature. It is a miniature of the SS Venture that was used in the 2005 film King Kong. While modern-day filmmakers do use a lot of special effects, the decades-old technique of using miniatures is still executed when it is the most realistic way to bring a scene to life. It's really about taking an immense amount of attention to detail, perspective, and scale. As you can see there, they even created waves using shovels, and really all of that perspective, it works just great. Until a giant duck shows up in your shot, and then it goes from being a film about a giant ape to one about a giant duck, and it's really just a completely different film. Now we are going to cross the pond, as they say. I'm going to take you home to Little
Countless Productions, Psycho 2, Alias, the TV show, Biggest Loser, the TV show. But Peter Jackson actually used it to film scenes with the SS Venture in King Kong. So, coming up on your left, why are we stopping? Let's go. Oh, okay. Well, the road is flooded. That's fine. Does anyone have a wand with them? Can anyone do any magic? Okay, no? Alright, that's fine. This is what we're gonna do. We are going to scream at the top of our lungs, "Park the Waters" on the count of 3. Okay, this is your opportunity to yell and wake up the whole world. Yell "Park the Waters" on 3, okay? 1, 2, 3.
Park the Waters on 3!
Did that work, Oscar? Hey, it worked. Good job, guys. Below sea level, folks, just keep an eye on your belongings on the ground. Sometimes water does seep in. Like I mentioned, this is where Peter Jackson actually filmed several different scenes with SS Venture. Take a look. Take a look to your left-hand side. He used forced perspective to make this miniature actually look a lot bigger than it actually is. I'm going to show you a clip of what it looked like in the final cut.
The orange and white trams in that montage were the original trams that premiered with the studio tour. Back when they first premiered, the trams were actually called glamour trams. Fancy, huh? And hey, the birthday of the studio tour is July 15th, 1964. So this July 15th, we'll be turning the big 5-2. And yes, Daniel and I have been giving tours since day one, just to call out the elephant on the tram. In those early days of the tour, things were a little bit different. The trams, as I said, were called glamour trams. The tour only departed 5 times all day at scheduled intervals, just 5 times. And at the end of every tour, one lucky lady on the tram won a glamorous Hollywood makeover. So fancy, right? The whole idea of bringing in the general public to get a behind-the-scenes look, though, at how movies got made goes further back in time to 1915. Our company founder, Carl Laemmle, got the bright idea to invite in the general public from day one, opening day of Universal City, March 15th, 1915. There's Carl Laemmle on opening day. He founded Universal Pictures in 1912 and then opened up this place, Universal City, a few years later. And in those early days, if you remember the general public, you could get in for a quarter. For a quarter, you got a box lunch, and you got to sit in bleachers and watch silent movies as they were being filmed. So he was way ahead of his time, because we're still doing that today on the trams. Over on the right-hand side, a body of water called Park Lake. Park Lake was the Black Lagoon in the film The Creature from the Black Lagoon. Park Lake was also featured in Psycho. That's where Norman Bates dumped a murder victim. Disgusting. And we had to haul it out at the end of the film. It's a big, disgusting mess. Now, Park Lake is not a natural lake. It's man-made. And that means we can do wacky things like drive through it. Yeah, in a moment we're going to drive through Park Lake. When we do this, sometimes water does lap up onto the floor of the tram. So if you have anything on the floor that you don't want to get wet, pick it up now, just to be safe. And if you don't speak English, I guess you're in for a surprise in a few moments. But as we drive through the lake on the left, you'll see 2 beautiful miniatures. Look at them. There is a ship called the SS Venture and Skull Island. Both of those miniatures were featured in the movie King Kong, directed by Peter Jackson. Here's how they look in the film. Miniatures are a special effect that has been around pretty much the dawn of filmmaking. So very effective today. Now, a miniature of Skull Island is as big as Skull Island ever got in the film. Pretty incredible. Now, we like to stay on the back on the whole.
Now, as we depart from Park Lake, you'll see on the left a big square building. It's our property department. It's named after Edith Head, who was thought to be the basis of the character Edna Mode. From Pixar's The Incredibles, because of her large round glasses, affinity for costumes, and no-nonsense attitude. She won 8 Oscars for costume design and was nominated for 35 others. That's more than any person in history. You can also see a glimpse of our little Europe sets. We can make the streets of any country in Europe we need. Spain, France, Germany, whatever we want. It was, in the past, the home to all of our classic monster films like The Hunchback of Notre Dame, Frankenstein, Dracula, and The Invisible Man. But currently, we're using it for the sets of The Good Place, starring Ted Danson and Kristen Bell. Now, I'm pretty excited, you guys, because we are actually going to be able to go inside of a hot set in just a moment. We're typically not supposed to do that, but it's going to be pretty cool. I just have to ask to make sure you guys stay seated, keeping your arms and legs inside the tram. You know the spiel. But this time it's important because we don't want to touch any of the props that are out. A prop, by the way, is anything as small as a paperclip or as large as a grand piano that an actor touches on screen. The reason we don't want to touch any of these things that are on this hot set is to keep good continuity. Continuity is making sure everything looks the same from shot to shot in a movie. Because sometimes scenes can be shot over several days at a time, and so it's their specific job just to make sure everything is in the right place. An example of bad continuity would be in Pretty Woman.
So we're taking you to the miniaturized version of Skull Island to show you how this scene was created. Oh, wait a minute. What's going on, Armando? What do you mean the road's flooded? But this never happens. Alright, here's what we're going to do, guys. We're going to part the waters, but I need your help. On the count of 3, everybody scream, part the waters. Alright, you'll see the magic. Part the waters on 3. 1, 2, 3. Part the waters! Good job. Press the button, Armando. Look at that. The water's waters are being parted. It's a miracle! You guys don't seem impressed.
No.
No? No? Alright. What about this, guys? What if we drive through the parting of the waters? That impress you? Calm down. Alright, the last time this was attempted was what, 5-10 minutes ago on Monday? Right. We're going to drive to the parting of the waters, guys. This is treacherous, so if you have like a camera bag or a purse on the floor, water does splash up on the floor of the tram, be careful. If you're wearing flip-flops, watch out for your feet. If you're wearing Crocs, you probably have bigger issues. Alright, folks. And as we drive through on your left-hand side, you're going to see the SS Venture and Skull Island, a miniaturized version that was used by Peter Jackson in the movie King Kong. You know what, I'm going to show you how this is done. So I'm going to drive through it on your monitor. I'm going to show you behind-the-scenes footage.
Ready and action. Your left.